Ron and Fez on Raw Dog, Sirius XM Comedy Hits, Channel 99.
Yeah, buddies, it's the Ron and Fez Show coming up in just a little bit. Your chance to win signed albums by the Animals. Is it an album or CD?
It's the Animals retrospective CD.
CD, signed by the great Eric Burden. That's all coming up with a first responders contest we'll be doing next hour. After the show today, we're doing George Lopez Town Hall. Hear ye, hear ye. It's a town hall.
They should have a crier out in the middle of the lobby, just with a bell.
I'm sitting next to the crier, you mean bastard. Go ahead, Fezzy, take the stick. Don't listen to Chris Stanley.
Shameless on Showtime now is officially a comedy. It had always been, that's as far as the Emmy Awards go. It had always been in the drama contention. Now it's going to be seen as a comedy. They gave it special dispensation from the TV Academy for the Emmy Awards. I always thought this show was a comedy.
Well, it's a dramedy, or a black comedy, I guess. It's not a laugh a minute. I mean, if you watch the show, you actually feel bad for the children.
Terrible lifestyle.
I mean, I guess because it's an hour long, people would think it's a drama, but it's...
I'm basing it more on plot stuff, and just, I don't know whether you watched it, but there's guns going off, and there's people dead, and it's...
Scams.
It's actually a little hectic.
But Frank Gallagher can be such a funny character, like when he's sitting in the bar.
Have you watched it this year? Because he's been laying in a deathbed and eating pills that he get his kids to steal for him. It's really a dark show. A baby OD'd, the daughter's a sex addict, a little girl that we watch grow up is trying to lose her virginity. It's a dark show.
It'll be interesting, though, to see it at the Emmy Awards if it gets nominated against things like Modern Family and Big Bang Theory.
That will be interesting.
And, but sometimes it's so dark it's absurd. So I think I think it's the right move to move it into the comedies category.
I'll back you up on it.
And we'll see if William H. Macy can walk away with an Emmy over Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, they're both so good. Bazinga.
President Obama was saying that when he was asked if Russia was an actual threat to the United States now that they're moving into Crimea, he said his bigger concern is a nuke going off in New York City.
Hear, hear.
I wish the president wouldn't throw things out there like this. I think he could have said the protection of the country, terrorist threats, not to actually talk about a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. Plus, he's got a ton of other cities that he could have mentioned.
What, St. Louis?
Yes, anything. Yes, something in the heartland.
I mean, if a nuke goes off in Omaha, let's say, it's sad, it's awful, but it doesn't, bring the country to its knees. I don't know whether you're familiar with the financial game they play here in New York. The trade that takes place.
I think it's all going to be bad, but Obama doesn't have to jinx us. Like it's some sort of Hollywood movie that he's storyboarding.
Don't get racist.
No, I wasn't getting racist with that.
Good.
So it's nice to get presidential attention, but I just wouldn't do it from, from that point of view.
I agree with you.
Jim Nabors is doing his last Indy 500. I had no idea this was a tradition in the country, where Jim Nabors sings the Indiana song every year at the Indianapolis 500.
This will be it.
Started in 1972, and had no idea this was going on.
You never watch the Indy 500?
I guess I've never even tuned into it to see a 40-year tradition finally end. I guess I'll have to tune in this time just to catch the end of it.
Not going to be a wet seat in the place.
For first responders later on, the Animals on CD, the Animals retrospective signed by Eric Burden. We'll be doing a first responders contest a little bit later with Rachel when Rachel Lickman stops by.
Am I eligible for that?
Yeah, yeah.
I can win.
You can respond
as a show's co-host. I can win. Seems like cheating in a way.
If you're chosen as a first responder, sure.
Good luck to me, then.
I'm pulling for you.
Thanks.
Cheech and Chong have a new movie happening. So it's with the director who did the Broken Lizard movie. So they will be doing a new film where they go to a weed festival, the big joint festival.
Stretching, huh, boys? New directions.
It's outside their comfort zone, but I think they can pull it off.
Well, I think it'll be a big success. I think people will still go to a pot movie. I think they just, it doesn't matter that it's Cheech and Chong trying to redo what they had done before.
Well, they have a lot of fans.
So I think it'll be a big hit.
All right, Fez's prediction.
The stoners are out there. Pot's getting more and more legalized across the country.
That's true.
This thing will be huge at a Colorado drive-in. The Four Loko.
That was a long one.
Sorry. The Four Loko company is going to discontinue their beverage. So it was like a huge alcohol volume and caffeinated drink. Took the caffeine out a while ago, and now they're just getting rid of it altogether.
College students are going to be devastated by this. They never buy just like one. It's like pretty huge in just college towns. They're always buying like 3 or 4 at once, getting fucked up.
Can't be selling as much as you think if they're getting rid of the product.
See, I missed this. Now I feel like an old man. This Four Loko craze was before my time. They didn't have it when I was in college.
That would have made it after your time.
Yeah, after my time. There we go.
Dumb fuck. Unfocused bastard.
That was all I had. There's a new dating trend called ghosting, where apparently the breakup is really just a disappearance.
I don't know if that's all that new.
They just found a new name for it.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to call this ghosting now.
I'd rather ghost ride the whip. Just start dancing next to my car while it sort of rolls down the street a little bit.
I consider it just dating a girl from another town.
But now you have to worry about ignoring them on Facebook instead of just the telephone.
Yeah, that is actually harder now, I guess.
Tweet, email.
That's before my time, Facebook.
It would be hard to just disappear altogether. They're going to be able to find you if they look hard enough.
Well, you ignore. You unfollow.
Yeah, you act as if they're just dead.
You block.
Look, Karen, it was fun, but I'd rather you not poke me anymore.
And normally, don't you only have to ignore a couple before the person gets the hint and stops?
Unless they're real psycho. But the vast majority of people will realize, I guess this is done, huh?
Yeah, all right. I'm saying a week before, a week, even if it's 80 unanswered emails, they get it.
I don't know if everyone would get it or not. I think they would still. I think there's some people that would just definitely keep trying.
Rich, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey guys, Fez, please add some filler in between. This dead air is about to give me an anxiety attack, and I'm on the road here. I just can't take it anymore. Just add ums or rifle through some paper and say, let me see what I got next. Just, please help me out, Fez.
Well, be careful on the road.
Matt Rochester, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
I know those contract negotiations are coming up. I just want to voice my support. Bring back Fez. I wouldn't know where else to get my news at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Fez has got to stick today. He gave up once, Fez, but we didn't let it go that way.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of something else here.
Good.
Don't forget the First Responders Contest coming up next hour. Your chance to win the Animals on CD signed by Eric Burden. So that's coming up next hour.
Here's Bob. Bob and Breck, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie, talking about disappearing, I don't think it's all that difficult. Fez has been doing it for 20 minutes now.
Did Fez just ghost us?
I hope so.
Cold chill just went through the air.
Justin and Philly, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie, got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know, but the mayor of Philly, Nutter, he's over in Italy trying to get the Pope to come over for some Count's family meeting or something 2015. So I want to know if the Pope comes, can we get Ronnie B to agree to come down and do a live broadcast from Philly?
So here's the thing. The only Catholics that are really left in Mass are the Latinos. So they're going to get all the great stuff.
The city gets the Pope and we get Ronnie B. So can we agree to that?
I'd like to come down and do something in Philly anyway. I just don't know if I want to do it with the Pope. I like this.
Cardinal Dolan.
Go ahead, Fez. You're allowed to do it.
What? You're making me a face. What?
The face, Fez, the face you made when you talked was very disturbing. I was.
Cardinal Dolan.
What did he do to you? I didn't say.
He just gave me a look like the studio was on fire. I didn't know what he was trying to say. So I mouthed what to him?
Charlie, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, is there a problem with XM radio? I keep hearing, like, silence every time there's a change of story or something. What's going on? See? There's silence.
Got to answer him, Fez. John in Texas, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, you know, Ron, Fezzy does work best when you're not in the studio. Maybe you need to disappear to the bathroom for a couple minutes.
I thought that you did very good when Michelle was in here yesterday.
That was just sniper lines.
All right, go ahead. Get into your good stuff. Without Chris fucking with you.
Quit fucking him up, man. Just let him do it.
Let him do his thing.
I'm going to get out.
Why
I'm
is this?
going to keep out of this.
Take that stick, Fezzy.
Like you do the office work.
Sounds like somebody found himself in a clip fight.
Excuse me?
He doesn't do any office work?
Well, I know we have to wait till the podcasts are all cut before we can do anything.
Oh, shit. And then I come back here and I'm here, and then I come in before everyone else. So it's not like it's an hour out of my week isn't keeping me from doing any work for the Ron and Fez show. I'm here before everyone.
That's a problem. You're not here when everybody else is.
Okay.
I was going to say Cardinal Dolan is trying to get the new Pope into New York. Now it's like it's almost like who can get the big Get interview. Whether it's going to be Barbara Walters or 60 Minutes.
Yeah, the Pope has always been that way. The Pope is the biggest act in the world.
All the cities are competing for him.
Always have been. All over the world.
I think it's going to be Carson Daly. He's going to get this one.
We'll find out. Had a bad experience with a homeless person. last night. Accidentally threw garbage on a homeless person. I had stopped into a store to get a drink, drank it, had the bottle in the plastic bag, and was walking down the sidewalk. It was already dark out. Thought that was a trash pile on the side of the sidewalk, right there by the curb.
You throw stuff on a pile instead of in a trash can?
I thought it was a pile of garbage. I mean, there was like a bin there and everything. I thought it was for the garbage man.
You think that the way to do it is just pile up garbage instead of actually throw it in a trash can?
I thought it was there for the garbage man. I was putting it in something that was there on the curb. I thought I was putting it along with someone else's trash that the garbage man would have picked up the next morning.
Yeah, but if there's let's say somebody starts to throw some trash down on the sidewalk, you just don't throw yours on top of it and think that that's a good thing.
It wasn't litter. I thought it was one of those things where it was right outside a business where it gets piled up at night for the garbage man the next day. Apparently that bin belonged to a homeless man who was all covered up in plastic, and I couldn't tell the difference between that and a regular trash pile for the sanitation department, and ended up throwing garbage on the man.
You were helping him out, making him warmer. That's kind of like his blanket. That's his down blanket.
I think it's no worse than joining in on a pile of litter, which I also think is a problem in any city. Matt in Oregon, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hey, who do I talk to request they not renew Fez's contract here in April when it comes up?
Oh, you're
I'm
too
tired
late.
of this shit, man. He's not getting any better. It's time we all admit it. Who is that? That's not Wiki anymore, right? Who is that?
You could talk to Wiki if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Wiki's the one?
I'm telling you, Fez is beloved now. Beloved.
Is he beloved?
Beloved.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Matter of fact,
all right.
The shot that he gave Chris is actually concerning. That's how beloved Fez is. And how less than beloved Chris is. Tying him into somebody that everyone else dislikes. From a management point of view, at least. Was actually a good move, if you want to be a prick. It's like a good prick.
I was just firing back.
I don't even remember saying anything that was dickish. I reacted to him. You fucking made a crazy face that looked like you got shot because you interrupted Ron, and I was just like really fucking thrown back. Like you really looked like you were physically in pain. I apologize.
Too late. You got your ass handed to you.
I know. I got fucked up.
Clip fight is over quick and easy. Marshall, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
If you like Carl Pilkington, Fez Whatley is your man. He does the whole tell a joke or be a joke. He takes it to levels that no other human ever has. You got to keep him on the show.
Thank you. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. John, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hey, Ron, I haven't heard Shelby in a while. Could Fez check the bathrooms for me?
Go ahead, Fez.
Shelby shits a lot, I guess.
You told us that he shits during the early morning meeting.
Yeah, he takes off then.
Maybe that's what that joke was about.
Mm-hmm.
And when does Chris take off?
During the evening.
And where is he?
Cutting podcasts, I guess.
With who?
I know Bronx Johnny, other Chris. I think that's who it was last night.
Is that who you were with last night?
No, it wasn't. It was with last night.
Oh, I thought that one was on a different night.
That was Tuesday nights for an hour.
Go ahead, take that stick, Fezzy.
NASA is letting us choose the next spacesuit. So these are up on the iBang. You can see them there. Very strange. They look more like robots than actual spacesuits.
I haven't seen them. Chris won't get it for you now.
He does. He's not going to help.
He's probably got his feelings hurt a little bit.
So we're finally getting spacesuits that look like science fiction spacesuits.
Greg, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Kind of looks like Tron in the middle.
Hey, when you guys are not on the air, is Fez able to carry on a conversation and actually listen and respond back?
That's an interesting question. I think he does very well he does better in meetings of like technical things. The creativity stuff, not as much. Today when I had to talk to Sam from Monet about something, I sat there and talked to him the whole time, and after I was done, Fezzy goes like this, "Thanks, Sammy." And I'm like, that's kind of funny that he wasn't part of that whole conversation, but then gave him the thank you from me. Like, your time is over with the mayor.
We'll be in touch.
What was that about, Fez?
Oh, that was just, I was seeing if Sam was around, so I thanked him for coming down the hallway.
Oh, you had him waiting there for me?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that was the situation. Don't make him wait. I could go to his office.
I was just asking him if he was going to be around. So I thanked him for being around.
It was great. Bob, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Ronnie, please stop Fez before he says, that's all I got.
He did that about 25 minutes ago, but he's still going strong. He's got a lot going on. Shelby, what's on in your mind? Why don't you take the stick a little bit?
Well, there's a video on the iBang. It's of a woman in Egypt. She's kind of dressed like any woman you'd see in America, but the problem is she's in Egypt, and they take the whole cat calls to a whole nother level. Like, they don't know. They've never seen, it seems like, a woman that's not wearing a shawl. Or a
and well, she's also blonde. And remember the girl from 60 Minutes that they were molesting over there?
In the square,
She
yeah.
was blonde. Why is this chick even there?
I don't know. I mean, you can't just go to, like, Texas Tech. You gotta go all the way to Egypt.
Look at them.
I think the guy whistling has a chance.
Look how she's just trying to keep her dignity and relax, but...
And there's nothing but, like, hundreds of dudes following her, as in they're all around her.
You know what
as
it looks
well.
like? It looks like new fish. It looks like new fish in the prison.
All the guys right around her are actually escorting her out because I guess you have to wear like a kind of a shawl there. When she got to the school, she's like, okay, I'll just like take this off for the day. And people started cornering her and trying to take her clothes off. So they were actually kind of helping her.
So they would actually say, we will rape you here.
I guess, you know, location's not a problem for them.
Then the weird thing is, they're supposed to be the most religious people. And we're the animals. We're the decadent animals.
And I just saw that, like, the whole Muslim Brotherhood thing, they literally sentenced over 500 people to death. I mean, going back to the whole funeral thing, they're going to be running out of space here.
A mass grave. They have a fucking mass grave.
There ain't any tombstones.
Here's the thing. A chick can walk through here in a fucking G-string and we can keep our shit together better there than they do with a woman in a pantsuit.
I can see an outline of an elbow. Jesus.
Insane.
The pink wasn't smart either. Maybe she was wearing black. That might have made
nothing. You can't now see. You're blaming the victims. This is what happens all the time. Well, maybe if she would have, maybe it's her fault because she.
It looked like there was a couple of women in the mob too. A few women just joining, not with the cat calls, but at least enjoying seeing this woman harassed.
No,
maybe they're just effeminate dudes.
No women. The only people that call women sluts the most are other women. So I mean, I guess they'd get in on it over there too.
Jim, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie. Doesn't Fezzy have a fear of nighttime? And I just totally don't believe this homeless story.
Yeah. Now, this person's name down as Herbu. Herbu, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Buddies,
what's going to happen after April 7th? Will you be moving to the, Frank Sinatra channel or something?
Don't have any concerns about April 7th. Don't be concerned about a thing. I'm telling you, Fez is beloved. Chris, on the other hand...
Bad.
John, Buffalo, you're on the Ron Fez Show.
I was in Egypt a couple of years ago, and I met this chick, and I had sex with her, and it turned out that she was what was called a bitch, which is a girl who is not a virgin, right, and is not married.
Mm-hmm.
So she's then not allowed to get married for the rest of her life. And her family threw her out, and she was just going from dude to dude, just fucking them in order to, have a place to stay. So we went, one day we went into the ocean to swim, and I swear to God, there were 50 different guys, like teenagers and young 20s, I had to fight off to keep away from her because they all knew that she was a bitch somehow, and they were all going after her because they knew she was just an easy target. It was ridiculous.
Like physically trying to touch her?
Yeah, physically trying to grab her. And me and my two friends had to fight them off.
Like her ass and breast, or just...
Yeah, no, they're trying to grab her, her
groping.
ass and titties.
Unfucking believable.
Come to the Nile River like that, you're going to have to put up with some shit.
Here's the thing with me. I disagree with the Jews about everything until they get to the Arabs. And I'm going, you know what? You're right. These fucking guys, they're fucking unbearable.
This is why we never know what government to support over there. Nothing changes.
Jay, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I tuned in just not too long ago. I missed the beginning of the show, but I've just kind of noticed that it just seems to be a little bit of a bash on Fez Day, and my personal feeling with that is he has his quirks. He's not perfect. He has irrational fears. I think all of that is honestly irrelevant. He's entertaining, and I think he does his job.
There's no need to stick up for me. I'm not getting bashed.
Negativity. It's not needed.
There's nothing negative going on here. I'm just trying to make sure I keep broadcasting.
And I think
so. No need to be upset.
Oh no, nobody's. I'm not upset. I don't think anybody else really is. It's just it's more negative in my opinion than I think it should be.
Everything's fine.
Right on.
Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have comedian Jeff Dunham here. Also, Rachel Lichtman next hour. First Responders. Her new movie is Voice and Heart, The Guys Who Wrote 'Em. That premieres May 1st at the Chicago International Movies and Music Festival. We'll do a First Responders contest after we talk to Rachel. The prize is the Animals retrospective CD, and that's coming up just a little bit. Signed by Eric Burton.
Here we come, walking down the street. That place, it's like such a low place for a theme song to start from. Off that little drum, here we come, walking down the street. Then it starts to build. Voice and Heart are the guys who wrote that Monkees theme song, as well as a bunch of other hits for the Monkees. We'll go back to the beginning of it, so it makes sense.
Here we come.
Isn't that weird when you think, here we come, walking down the street?
It's like they're in an Egyptian crowd.
You know, you can't get off the one topic, can you? You mean like an Egyptian thing?
They're going out like Four Loko over there.
Secret Service is in trouble again for getting fucked up. This time, I think, in Amsterdam.
Why you don't expect that to happen in Amsterdam?
They've got a fucking thing to take care of, the president.
Yeah, but it's Amsterdam. It's mostly safe.
Then go on your vacation.
I don't think those guys get a lot of vacay. That's like, I'm being on call, like a surgeon.
You honestly feel good about the Secret Service getting fucked up?
Some of them, some of the time.
Maybe he was sleeping. The guy they're protecting was down for the night.
It's not like there isn't a lot of dudes that don't want this gig. It takes you a long time to get to be the guy who is on the president's team. And you'd think you don't stay there forever. To me, this is like showing up to a fucking football game drunk and you're the quarterback. And you're like, what do you expect? We're in New Orleans. I'm not going to have a couple of fucking drinks on the way.
There's no open container laws here. They should get a pass for Amsterdam. Colombia is a little dodgy because there's all those
I don't know
wars.
why. This has happened enough times now that Hollywood should have out a movie. One of those Paul Rudd fucking movies.
Oh, he gets to be a Secret Service agent?
Yeah, and before you know what's happening, he's partying, he's meeting chicks.
What happened? I lost the president.
It was his friend Zach Galifianakis. Hey, everyone's going crazy.
This is the perfect vehicle for him to show off his dancing skills again. I mean, at least it's not hookers this time, like it was when they were in, like, Colombia.
I don't know where he's going with this. I thought we were talking about Paul Rudd. Now, who's dancing skills?
Paul Rudd, he's always dancing.
I didn't know that.
What movies is he dancing?
You got him. You don't think that's the guy who does the movies with Ginger Rogers, right? Because that's not Paul Rudd, it's Fred Astaire.
I was just staring at his dance moves. They were so damn good.
Larry, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, right. I mean, again, it's just news sensationalism. I mean, the Secret Service guys that got fucked up, they were off duty. It wasn't like Obama was in the next room with the Netherlands Prime Minister, and these guys are taking shots at the bar. They're off duty, and then when they had to go to work, they're all hungover. It's not nothing that crazy.
So that they got in trouble for being hungover?
Yeah, I mean, there was a rotation going on. Obviously, it's not the same guys always protecting the president on tour. It was just like the off-duty guys. They got a little rowdy, and then when they got back on duty, they were all fucked up. And,
look, if this is the gig they want, they had to do security for the Stones. You can get really fucking wasted on that tour. Talk about a story that won't go away, too. It's Mick's ex.
Loren.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just...
Every day there's a new angle to this. And I'm like, I don't know what... I didn't know that it held this much interest for people.
Yeah, front page of the paper was just him on a balcony with his kids. They were just showing him at the funeral.
Here's all I can think of it. She's 6'4".
Yeah.
How did she not kill herself years ago? Just like, I don't know, I'm so much taller than everybody at school.
I mean, after college, you can't really play volleyball anymore. Pretty much off yourself.
Too bad, because girls' volleyball is a fucking great sport. Girls' beach volleyball, every 4 years, everyone goes crazy about it.
It's the best.
They're playing in those tiny little suits. Look at the size of
it. All right, that's freakish. She looks like an avatar. That's Sarah Jessica Parker, and she's at least a foot and a half.
Holy shit. It looks like Andre the Giant standing next to Skylo Low.
What a freak. God damn, man.
Look at the length on the arms.
She's 6'4".
That doorknob she was hanging herself off of was been
it's probably
halfway near the top of the door.
It probably was a big giant door. You know what I mean? Like they probably had everything built big for her. That actually is one of the best pictures I've ever seen of Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker's breasts come up to her vagina.
I know.
That's nuts.
That's why fucking Mick used to love it.
Put her titty in her vagina again.
Hey, Nick in Massachusetts, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Good afternoon, guys. Here's the premise. Paul Rudd is a Secret Service agent for the first female president, and she's kind of Clinton-like, and she's always trying to get him in situations where she could bang him.
I kind of like this, but I think it should be like this. He's like the dancing Secret Service.
Oh, because he loves to dance.
Yeah, in all of his movies.
I just remember, look up Paul Rudd, Tim and Eric, and there's this weird sketch where he's just sitting at a computer and he's dancing like every 5 seconds.
All right,
right, but that's not a Paul Rudd movie.
That's one skit of Tim and Eric, which is nuts anyway.
Dancing while sitting.
of a surreal fucking sketch thing where their job is to go, let's do something that Paul Rudd would never do.
Well, they put it. He dances all the time. Trust me.
You're making this
You
shit
tell
up.
us instead of saying trust me. I have zero trust for you. Zero. Howard's right. You were a mistake.
Yeah, I heard Howard laughing it up back there.
Yeah. You're a fucking mistake.
Howard, what the hell?
Okay, I've never seen him do this dance before.
He's watching himself dance.
And like pop-up ads.
Yeah.
This is basically a trailer for that new movie.
Let me just say this. You have Fez's fucking weirdness, but with more confidence to stay with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, take that. That was a compliment.
I have a beta sequence I've been working on. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, turn this off, Chris. It's a fucking waste of time.
He's just making things up again.
You were right. It's a crazy Tim and Eric fucking sketch. Period.
All of them are totally non sequitur weirdness.
This fucking, yeah. And then fucking Shelby sees that sketch and he goes like this. Yeah, this is funny because it happens in every one of his movies.
I remember in Clueless with that crazy dance scene.
By the way, do you understand? Clueless is what, like 95, 96, right?
Yeah, what? What's up?
Paul Rudd looks the same and is still playing those cute friend parts after all these years. Something happened with him where he does not change.
He's a vampire. It's obvious.
The world is a vampire. The world is a vampire.
Fucking love that song.
It's the only one I really do like.
Maybe 1979.
Always go for the live, huh, bro? You're fucking unbelievable at that. You're the exact opposite of radio. In radio, they always go, never grab the live cut. Always play the produced cut. Unless we're doing Bring 'Em Back Alive weekend. Chris Stanley, every single time, grabs a shitty live cut, normally shot with someone's phone.
This sounds like it was recorded off the board.
You sound like you were fucking recorded off the board. At a Tim and Eric broadcast. Fez, you petered out there. I want you to end your hour strong, too. Come on, one more. What do you got, buddy? What's Big Fez has? What are you going to read to us?
Let me see here.
Read us something and then either agree or disagree with it.
Looking at what to read here. The CNN employees that were arrested sneaking into the World Trade Center, thinking that, yes, they could... Now that other people have done it, and the skydivers turned themselves in the other day, who had leapt off of the top of it, and then the New Jersey teenager who had snuck in, they just assumed they could go walking in and get the story of the century.
Story of the century?
It's going to be talked about for years.
The other day, when you were talking about New Jersey,
sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They thought they were going to be the Woodward and Bernstein of construction sites.
Here's Nomad. You're on the Ron Fez Show.
Hey, Ronnie. Shelby's actually right about Paul Rudd dancing because he dances in the movie Role Models with Sean William Scott, and Sean William Scott actually dressed up like a centaur.
Why is that
Chris
funny?
Stanley.
That wasn't me. That was Scott. And right, so one movie and one sketch. Sketch.
Hey, Sketch, are you going to be the new drummer for the Oneaters?
One sketch. He's a dancing queen.
He was dancing on the SNL skit, too. He's always dancing. And whenever medium of entertainment.
All right, this just came in. This is funny. How come Fez will apologize for saying New Jersey, but for not trying to make the bosses hate Chris?
Chris started it.
I know. I reacted to something. I started it. I'm a fucking terrible person.
Don't react to things. Just let them go.
You're right.
Caused problems.
I just caused problems by reacting. I'm a fuck up.
Stop trying to create conversations.
This just got written into us. Since Chris is a centaur, would he need anyone on his back if he played polo? That is.
Well, obviously centaurs wouldn't need anyone on their back to play polo. They have arms.
That's cheating, though.
No, that's just how it is. A centaur they'd have a natural thing to be good at.
I know. I think you should carry a mallet, wear a mullet, obviously, and then have a guy on your back with a mallet.
See, that would be cheating, because now you have two mallets. As the centaur should only have, they'll be able to have one mallet.
Every time you try to reach down to hit the ball, you just tip over.
Jack, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Ronnie, during that most recent dead air break, did I hear you rubbing were you rubbing your hands on your legs?
Yeah.
What's the story of the century? Are they gonna CNN reporters gonna find the dead Lindbergh baby in Freedom Tower?
I know, that was the fucking best.
Yeah.
Rick, you're on the Ron and Fez Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, I was watching Jimmy Fallon the other day. He had Paul Rudd on there, and the only special thing that they done was a dancing thing. So I'm helping Shelby out there.
Well, they did a what do you call it? Mime. Like they mime songs on there. That bit's really long, too.
This Rudd's like a modern-day Gregory Hines over here.
Gregory Hines is the modern-day Gregory Hines.
He's dead as disco.
Poor bastard. Chrissy, you're on the Ron and Fez Show.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Ronnie, I was wondering if you know a good place to eat in or around Detroit going up there this weekend.
Not one. All right, we got to go to break here. We get back. Jeff Dunham is going to be with us, and then we're going to be talking about the Monkees writers, Boyce and Hart. Your chance to win in a first responders contest. That's all coming up next. We'll be giving out signed Eric Burden and the Animals. It's the Ron and Fez Show.
Ron and Fez on Raw Dog.
Raw Dog, Sirius XM.
Comedy hits. Channel 99. Listen to Ron and Fez whenever you want. Go to SiriusXM.com/on-demand.
Over Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, they're both so good. Bazinga.
President Obama was saying that when he was asked if Russia was an actual threat to the United States now that they're moving into Crimea, he said his bigger concern is a nuke going off in New York City.
Hear, hear.
I wish the president wouldn't throw things out there like this. I think he could have said the protection of the country, terrorist threats, not to actually talk about a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan. Plus, he's got a ton of other cities that he could have mentioned.
What, St. Louis?
Yes, anything. Yes, something in the heartland.
I mean, if a nuke goes off in Omaha, let's say, it's sad, it's awful, but it doesn't, bring the country to its knees. I don't know whether you're familiar with the financial game they play here in New York. The trade that takes place.
I think it's all going to be bad, but Obama doesn't have to jinx us. Like it's some sort of Hollywood movie that he's storyboarding.
Don't get racist.
No, I wasn't getting racist with that.
Good.
So it's nice to get presidential attention, but I just wouldn't do it from that point of view.
I agree with you.
Jim Nabors is doing his last Indy 500.
Ron and Fez on Raw Dog. Sirius XM Comedy hits. Channel 99.
Yeah, buddies, it's the Ron and Fez Show coming up in just a little bit. Your chance to win signed albums by the Animals Is it an animal? Album or CD?
It's the Animals retrospective CD.
CD, signed by the great Eric Burden. That's all coming up with a first responders contest we'll be doing next hour. After the show today, we're doing George Lopez Town Hall. Hear ye, hear ye. It's a town hall.
They should have a crier out in the middle of the lobby, just with a bell.
I'm sitting next to the crier, you mean bastard. Go ahead, Fezzy, take the stick. Don't listen to Chris Stanley.
Shameless on Showtime now is officially a comedy. It had always been, that's as far as the Emmy Awards go. It had always been in the drama contention. Now it's going to be seen as a comedy. They gave it special dispensation from the TV Academy for the Emmy Awards. I always thought this show was a comedy.
Well, it's a dramedy, or a black comedy, I guess. It's not a laugh a minute. I mean, if you watch the show, you actually feel bad for the children.
Terrible lifestyle.
I mean, I guess because it's an hour long, people would think it's a drama, but it's...
I'm basing it more on plot stuff, and just... I don't know whether you watched it, but there's guns going off, and there's people dead, and it's...
Scams.
It's actually a little hectic.
But Frank Gallagher can be such a funny character, like when he's sitting in the bar.
Have you watched it this year? Because he's been laying in a deathbed and eating pills that he get his kids to steal for him. It's really a dark show. A baby OD'd, the daughter's a sex addict, a little girl that we watch grow up is trying to lose her virginity. It's a dark show.
It'll be interesting, though, to see it at the Emmy Awards if it gets nominated against things like Modern Family and Big Bang Theory.
That will be interesting.
And, but sometimes it's so dark it's absurd. So I think I think it's the right move to move it into the comedies category.
I'll back you up on it.
And we'll see if William H. Macy can walk away with an Emmy